Artificial intelligence is getting popular in all sorts of fields such as art, game dev, programming, music, virtual assistants, and so on. But how good is AI in helping us learn languages? As somebody who has been studying Japanese for 7 years now, I kind of want to know if this wonderful programming thing can help me learn Japanese more efficiently or not. For people who don't know what ChatGPT is, it's a AI chat program. It can help you with various things like giving advice, helping you write programs, writing poetry, making plans for you, and so on and so on. Basically anything that you could get advice with by typing, by reading things, it can probably do. Although I've heard it's kind of bad at maths, which is strange because it's a computer program. In short, it's a very large language model. And what I want to use it for today and what I want to show you guys is how you can use ChatGPT to learn Japanese. I've only tested it with Japanese. I'm almost certain it's also possible to be used with other languages like Dutch, English, Korean, because it speaks in many different languages. But in what way can AI help us to learn a language? Let's ask it. How can you help me to learn Japanese? And this is the reply we got from the AI. So 1, it can help us with vocabulary and grammar. It can help us with conversational practice. It can help us with reading and writing practice. And it can also give us cultural context. Now, I actually regenerated this question because I found the reply that I first got not really great. And that's something you will often have to do with using this kind of an AI. Every now and then you have to regenerate the answer, the reply, to get a different reply, because sometimes it's just not really great. So let's start simple. Let's go over some vocab. So teach me 20 words of the JLPT in 3 vocab. Sure, here are 20 words from the JLPT and 3 vocabulary lists. It types everything kind of slowly. The speed at which everything is being shown is kind of slow, so sometimes you need to have a little bit of patience. But here we have our lists. But now there's one thing that I don't like about this list. So we have all our vocab, but why do we get the writing like this? I want hiragana there and not just romaji. So let's fix that. We change the question to teach me 20 words of JLPT and 3 vocab. Give me the kanji, but also the way of how it is written in Japanese. No need for romaji for pronunciation. Because the main reason why it adds romaji is probably because of pronunciation. So let's try again. And it does not do what I say. So let's try again. Let's stop the generating. Japanese, hiragana, katakana. And now we get what we want. So sometimes you need to be very specific with AI because they will always generate their questions randomly. So now we got this list of vocab, but how about grammar? So teach me some JLPT in 3 grammar. Certainly, here are some JLPT and 3 grammar points for you to learn. So it will give us a grammar point and some example. This is always kind of different. Sometimes you need to generate it, or again, be more specific with what you want. Do you only want the grammar rules, or do you also want examples? Sometimes you need to specifically say what you want, because it will always kind of do whatever it feels like. So I would say these are all JLPT and 3 grammar points. So let's go one step higher. Just generating lists. That's something you can just look online and you get your reply. Something it can do now, it can look back to its previous messages and create a quiz for you. Let's type it in. Also, we need to say don't show the answers because sometimes it will just directly show the answers as well. Sure, here's a small quiz to test your knowledge of JLPT entry, vocabulary and grammar. So basically it generates a whole quiz for you, and then you can reply to it with the answers. So okay, so I typed some replies, I put them on all different lines. Maybe it will figure it out, maybe I need to put numbers in front of it. Almost everything is wrong. Let's see how it handles wrong answers, if it gives us advice on what is wrong or what not. Okay, so it just basically shows us the correct answers. Maybe we can add the numbers. Let's see if that works. So 1. Okay, let's save and submit. Good try. Okay, so you need to put the numbers in front, and will it give us advice on why we got... Oh no, it's just that, okay. If you want to have more of a GPT style test, you can also just ask for a multiple choice quiz, and it will just do that. Or if you want a test that really looks similar in difficulty as GPT, you can just ask for it. As you can see, generating lists for your vocab and grammar, all things it can do. It can even make quizzes for you with the grammar and vocab it showed you before. But this is not the best thing you can use AI for to learn Japanese. But first, I should explain some downsides about using AI before I explain the way that I use AI to learn Japanese with, because the downsides can be kind of important to take in mind. First of all, AI tends to lie a lot. Most of the time it will be reasonably correct about facts and such. However, sometimes it really likes to talk nonsense. Another downside is if you use one chat and it gets very long, it starts to lose track of its previously set messages, and it starts making up a lot of strange stories and strange behavior because it gets too long. So if you use this, just remember every week, reset a chat, like start a new chat and start over. Because at some point, if it gets too long, it will start hallucinating and saying that he said things that he didn't say, or say things that you said that he didn't say. It easily gets confused when the amount of data becomes too big. So you have to really take in mind that it can be wrong and that things can go wrong. But knowing these things and taking these things in mind whilst using this program, you could go over to the next thing that I use a lot and that I really like about AI, which I honestly think is better than a private teacher, because it basically becomes your private teacher. If we go back to the top, we can see it can help us with conversational practice. Why not try this? So my question to ChatGPT to enable this conversation thing, it's basically a copy paste that I have on my PC. Let's have a conversation in Japanese and give me feedback on what I say wrong and how to say it in a more correct way. Sure, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you in Japanese. Please feel free to start a conversation. And now I will intentionally make mistakes. It's just a very simple example of how it can help you to really become better at Japanese and to be more fluent and more native sounding in your writing. So let's try.
ありがとう。ジャパニーズ。こんにちは。僕の名前はボイーンです。ベルギーから来ました。今、日本に住んでいる。
仕事は主婦。Oops.主婦です。Wow, I cannot type today. Okay, so there are a couple of things wrong with this, a couple of things that could be said in a better way. So let's see how ChatGPT will respond to this and give us advice on how to sound more native. So the reply is basically, こんにちは、ボインさん。日本へようこそ。あなたの日本語はとっても上手ですね。So, even AI knows how to insult people who are studying Japanese. And then it basically gives us advice on what we said, so it's more correct to say 私の名前はボインです。Boku is used for man, but I'm a man, so it does not really matter that much. And then it basically gives us some information about how we could have said things more correctly. So this is the reply that I got this time, but I tried asking this question yesterday, just as preparation for this video, and I got this reply, which I kind of prefer because it has more of a way of explaining what went wrong. The thing is, with all this information, it explains why you are wrong, it explains how you can say it better, but it's still, for people who are just starting out studying Japanese, they probably cannot read this properly yet, because this is all in Japanese. Ask your question. Again, let's copy this, so we can ask the exact same thing. Provide me with feedback and corrections in English, as my Japanese is not good enough yet to understand explanations in Japanese. So again, it just comes down to be more direct in what kind of a reply that you want. And again, as you can see, it did not do exactly what I wanted it to do again, because I asked for it in English and I got everything in Japanese again. So let's fix that. Can you give me the explanation in English? Okay, now it just translates everything. So basically it says like shufu with a male kanji, that's for people like me, people who are the stay-at-home dad or the house husband. With this kanji means for women who are the stay-at-home mom, by example. But if it's actually like your job, then it's more sengyo shufu. My job is a full-time homemaker. So yeah, it's great to have conversations with. It will often fix your mistakes, and the more that you use it, the more that you will learn how to actually like use it properly, because like I said before, it's not perfect. You really need to talk in it and to it in a specific way to get what you want sometimes. For example, normally when I use this, I don't really have that many problems. But then there are days like today that for some reason it just does not want to work the way that you expect it to or want it to. It's very difficult to work with this AI sometimes, but overall it can be a nice replacement for a Japanese teacher, by example, because it's free. Now, is it as perfect as a Japanese teacher, like a one-on-one teacher or like even a classroom teacher? Probably not, because it needs a lot of directions. But overall, price is free. It can really help you with like conversations. If you make very big mistakes, it will correct those, it will find those things. So here's my conclusion of, do I recommend using AI to learn Japanese? Short answer, yes. Long answer, maybe, because at this moment it's still very early stages for AI. For me personally, I think this is kind of the future of how we will be able to learn language in the future. Right now we're using applications to learn Japanese and books to learn Japanese, but in a couple of years, maybe, probably not that long in the future, that far in the future, you'll just be able to open your book and ask it, okay, can you explain units 1, by example, of Nihongo so Matome series or Genki. There is a lot of possibilities. Does it work right now? Yes and no. Like I said before, you have to be very direct with AI, because else it just does not do the things that you want it to do. But overall, it can be a nice addition. Now, I use it for my conversational practice every now and then. Like every day I try to have like a short conversation with it. In the end, if you want to learn a language, these are just tools. They won't connect to your brain and upload an entire language all at once. Maybe that will be cool but scary at the same time. But until that point comes that we can connect cables to our brains, language learning is something you need to do yourself. So this is just another tool, same like you have books, same like you have audio books or audio lessons or podcasts or anything. We need to use tools to learn languages. This is another one of them, and I hope for some people this is useful and that you can use this to make your Japanese language learning journey a lot more fluent and a lot more effective. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye bye.